Hi, my name's Adam Harrell with the Elite Performance Golf Academy, and we're here to talk about how to hit the golf ball farther. It's the #1 question, concern that we get from our students is, how can I hit the golf ball farther? Well, most of the time when they're talking about that, they're talking about that with their driver. Have you ever wondered how a tour player like an Ernie Els or maybe even a Fred Couples looks so effortless when they hit a golf shot, but yet when you go watch them in person, the ball takes off like a rocket? Well, I'm going to show you how they do that and what we look for here at the Elite Performance Golf Academy with all of our students. I've got a driver here, and I'm going to go ahead and get into my setup position. #1, we're looking at just things like your posture, your ball position, things like that. But in terms of true power, when we get to the top of the golf swing here, we're looking to see how much you have kind of loaded or tilted into your right side. But for power purposes solely, we're looking to see how you transition from the top of the backswing down to the golf ball. One of the things that's hard to see when a tour player is swinging in real motion is that from this position, the first thing that starts changing directions is the lower body. You'll actually see like a Sergio Garcia who goes up and it looks like they have pretty much of a whip in their swing. That's actually a good thing, and that's one of the reasons why a pretty small guy like Sergio, 5'9", can hit the ball as far as he does. So at the top of the swing there, the most powerful tour players in the world are going to start their lower body moving towards the target even before the club stops moving back. There's a little differential there. The club keeps moving back and their lower body is already going. And we have a way to measure that here at the Academy that we take all of our players through. Let me show you what that looks like. All right, so here we're taking a look at an efficient example from a top tour player in the world. And just so everyone knows at home, the red line represents the hips and their motion, and then the green line represents shoulders, and then the blue line here represents the club. And this horizontal line is 0, which is basically address. It should be pretty square there, 0. And this line measures the top of the swing. So you can see here in an efficient tour player's example, as they turn back, which is represented by the curve going down, the club makes, of course, as we know, it makes the biggest motion. But before the club finishes or before the club gets to the top of the swing and starts changing direction, the hips have already started back towards the target and have turned through that line. So they're here and they've crossed back over the line, and up in this area is where the hips and the shoulders and the club are actually moving towards the target. And this is what we measure with every player that comes through here. So if you have an efficient swing, this red line or your hips will start turning or moving back towards the target before your shoulders and of course before the club. Now this area right in here, that little gap between the shoulders and the hips, is what we call the power channel. And if you want to get more power in your golf swing, you absolutely have to have the hips moving faster and sooner than the shoulders. That's going to give you the chance to generate as much power as you want in your golf swing. Let's take a look at an inefficient example. So now we're taking a look at a player who is inefficient. They have no power. And again, the red is the hips there, the green is the shoulders, and the blue is the club. And this black line here represents the change of direction or the top of the swing. And you can see here that as the club starts to change direction, everything is meeting in the middle. The hips, the shoulders, and the club are kind of all jumbled together there. So in other words, there's an inefficient pattern there. The lower body is actually going last. The arms and the club are going first. So you would typically call this a throw or a cast from the top. And this gentleman is trying to hit the ball as far as he can, but he's not doing it in the right sequence. So if you want to get more power in your golf swing, you must change the sequence to become more efficient so that you're able to have some of that power in reserve and deliver that at the right time to the golf ball. So if you want to hit the ball more powerfully, come see us at the Elite Performance Golf Academy, and we'll show you how to make a more efficient, powerful motion in your golf swing.